Attention is the only currency that matters in the Omni-Media era. In the neon-choked canyons of Sector 9, the corporation didn't just want your money, they wanted every spare second of your visual field. They called it the total immersion environment. Every surface, every wall, every window, even the air itself, was saturated with solid light advertisements. These weren't just images, they were high-density holographic projections powered by hard light technology. An ad for a luxury car could physically shove you off the sidewalk to make room for its test drive animation. A giant, smiling corporate mascot could step on a rebel barricade and crush it under the weight of 1,000 gigawatts. They used sensory overload as a weapon, blinding the population with a prismatic fog of consumerism so thick that you couldn't see the police boots until they were on your neck. To the board of directors, a dark corner was a wasted opportunity. They believed that by controlling the light, they had eliminated the shadows where revolution grows. They thought the glare was their ultimate shield. They assumed that because we were biological eyes, we would be paralyzed by the strobe light of their propaganda. They believed that by turning the city into a kaleidoscope of high-frequency flashing ads, they had made tactical coordination impossible. They were catastrophically wrong. They forgot that if you spend enough time in the blinding light, you eventually learn to see the static between the frames. They assumed we were looking at the ads. They forgot that we were looking at the projectors. If Omni-Media wanted to burn our retinas with their perfect world imagery, we decided to give them a blackout that would feel like the end of the world. We created the static void protocol. And we birthed the 13th sensory infiltration unit, the Ad Blaster Commandos. We don't use standard camouflage. In a world of neon, black is a target. Instead, we use null visors and chameleon mesh that reflects the surrounding holograms, making us look like just another glitch in the ad stream. We don't carry conventional rifles. We carry glitch cannons, high-frequency emitters that fire information parasites, designed to hijack the hard light projectors. We don't destroy the ads, we rewrite them. We turn the smiling corporate model into a screaming warning. We turn the luxury car into an explosive decoy. We are the only warriors in the galaxy who fight a war by editing the reality of our enemies. We are the Ad Blaster Commandos and we're about to change the channel. I am Major Elias Static Thorn. My null visor is currently filtering out 99% of the visible light spectrum to keep my brain from melting under the lumen siege of the main square. I am standing on a glass bridge suspended between two massive media towers, and I'm about to kill the broadcast. The insertion was a drop into a sea of fire. We leaped from a stealth shuttle into the center of Lumen Square, the heart of the corporate propaganda machine. The air was a thick, vibrating soup of colors, pinks, violets, and golds so bright they felt like physical heat. 10-story-tall holograms of Omni-Refresh soda bottles danced through the streets, their solid light bases cracking the pavement with every simulated step. Commandos engage the ego filters. Do not look at the subliminals. Target the primary emitter at the spire peak. I roared over the neural link. Blaster 2, Sarah. I've got Ethelgard, enforcers closing in from the Burgerzine billboard. They're using the holograms for cover, Silas. I can't get a thermal lock. Blaster 3, Jax. I'm in the server basement. The At Colossus is manifesting. They're drawing power from the main grid to create a physical guardian. The Ethelgard emerged from the glare. They wore polished chrome suits that acted like mirrors, reflecting the chaotic ads to make them nearly invisible. They fired light slugs, projectiles of coherent energy that didn't just pierce. They flashed upon impact, meant to blind the survivors of the initial hit. A slug hit the glass bridge next to me, the white-hot flash nearly overloading my visor's dampeners. Rewrite the script. Give them something to read. I leveled my glitch cannon at a massive 60-foot-tall holographic woman who was currently blowing digital kisses to the terrified crowd below. I squeezed the trigger. A jagged wave of blue static lanced out from the barrel, hitting the hologram's central projection node. The perfect world image flickered. The golden skin turned a sickly, necrotic gray. The blowing kiss became a terrifying, subsonic shriek of truth. The solid light form of the woman suddenly lunged toward the Ethelgard enforcers, her massive digital hands sweeping the chrome soldiers off the bridge like they were toys. The hard light geometry, now corrupted by my virus, was physically tearing the corporate security apart. Sarah. The spire. Jax, blow the buffer. Jax, in the depths of the tower, slammed a static charge into the primary cooling lines of the hard light generators. Karachik. The city's lights didn't go out. They did something much worse. They stuttered. The entire square began to frame skip. One second, the street was clear. The next, it was filled with thousands of overlapping, ghost-like images of past advertisements. The ad Colossus, a terrifying 80-foot-tall warrior made of pure rotating corporate logos, erupted from the ground. It was a masterpiece of hard-light violence. It soared a spinning blade of "Buy Now" text that could slice through reinforced steel. The Colossus swung its blade at me. I dived, the air pressure of the solid light strike nearly throwing me over the railing. The blade hit the glass bridge, the hard light edge cutting through the 4-inch thick tempered crystal as if it were air. "Sarah. The override. Now." Sarah reached the Spire's primary broadcast dish. She didn't blow it up. She plugged her omnivirus into the core. Uploading the Blackout Manifesto. "Hold the line, Silas." The ad Colossus roared, its voice a deafening mix of jingles and marketing slogans. It prepared for a final overhead strike that would have leveled the entire bridge. I didn't run. I stood my ground, my glitch cannon humming at maximum capacity. I aimed for the eye of the beast, the primary lens located in the Colossus's chest. I'm not buying it. I unleashed a continuous stream of raw, uncompressed static. The blue energy hit the Colossus's chest, the solid light geometry beginning to unravel. The logos and slogans that made up its body began to fly apart, turning back into harmless, non-physical photons. The Colossus shrieked, its body flickering from gold to gray to black, before it finally dissolved into a shower of harmless pixels. The blackout manifested. It started at the top of the tower and rippled outward like a wave of cold water. The neon lights didn't just turn off, they were erased. The pinks, the golds, and the violets vanished, replaced by the deep, terrifying, and beautiful blackness of a true night. The holographic mosques were snuffed out. The total immersion environment was dead. For the first time in 50 years, the citizens of Sector 9 looked up and saw the stars. The silence that followed was the loudest thing I had ever heard. Without the constant hum of the hard light generators and the screaming voices of the ads, the city felt like a cathedral. I stood on the shattered bridge, my tactical suit hissing as the cooling fans settled. I pulled off my null visor, my eyes stinging as they adjusted to the natural darkness. The Ethelguard were gone, fled or fallen into the shadows. Without their mirrors and their light shields, they were just men in metal suits, and they were terrified of the dark. "Sarah. Jax, check the feed," I rasped, my voice echoing in the empty square. I'm here, static. The broadcast is dead. The Prism Tower is just a pile of cold glass now. We've given them back their eyes. Still standing. The servers are melted. Omni-Media is off the air, boss. Permanently. I looked out at the city. It was no longer a glowing, corporate nightmare. It was a place of shadows, of quiet corners, and of real people. The perfect world had been deleted, and in its place was a messy, dark, and wonderful reality. We had walked into the glare and pulled the plug on the god of the neon age. I slung my glitch cannon over my shoulder and walked toward the maintenance hatch. The rain was still falling, but it was just water now, not neon-lit slurry. The sky was silent. The world was dark. The ad was over. The truth was finally playing on every channel. The glare is snuffed. The silence is absolute. The shadows have returned to the city of light.